Okay, I thought this could be an interesting idea for a video. I am doing the sports media tier list. This is a bit difficult to do. What defines as what do I define as sports media company? What does not count as a sports media company? But I've got 10 together, and I'm going to put them in tier list, mostly focusing on the content they make. So, like for example, NBC obviously does have, they play games, they play Sunday Night Football on there, but I'm also kind of talking about, I think, spending more of a focus on what they do besides that, kind of their pregame shows and things like that. I like their pregame show a decent amount. I think it tends to be pretty fun. I feel like when they all pick the games, it's always exciting to see if they're always going to pick one team, because if they all pick one team, that team always loses, it seems like. I don't know. It's fine. I don't think it's anything to write home about. I'm going to put it as a so for me, football, I think, is a B, right? That feels correct. I think I'm actually going to drop it to a C, though, just because of how terrible the hockey coverage was when that was a thing. Again, I'm viewing this through my lens, the sports that I watch, and the hockey coverage was, I thought, very bad when it was on NBC. And to be honest, a lot of the, when I try to watch the Olympics, that stuff is very confusing. It's always beach volleyball. I don't need to watch beach volleyball all the time. Maybe show something else. Why is only beach volleyball the show? Why is that only what's going on there? I have no idea what the stakes are in any of these games or anything. I don't know. Maybe that's my fault, but I'm blaming NBC anyway. So C list there. It's fine, but it's not, do some things well, some things not so well. Fox Sports, listen, okay, you have Skip and Shannon, although I guess not anymore. I heard a report that I guess Shannon is going to be leaving soon, which is unfortunate, because that's definitely an iconic show. You have the Nick Wright show. I don't know what it's called, but it's the Nick Wright show. And they've had shows like that, which it depends on if it's your cup of tea or not. I don't really hate those shows the way some people might. They also have, Colin Cowherd, and it's, I'm putting Fox Sports. Again, I get very confused with Fox. It seems like they have like 7 different things that are under the Fox umbrella, but just anything that has Fox in the name is what I'm going with in the sports department. Some people really hate those shows. I don't really have an issue with them. At the end of the day, sports is entertainment. They can be entertaining, so I don't hate them the way some people do. But again, nothing to... I think that they are what they are. I'm still going to put it as a C for me, though. The Fox pregame stuff is also, I feel like, it's fine. I don't have an issue with it, but I'm not crazy about it either. Another C. TNT, though, listen, people legitimately will watch their basketball coverage without even watching basketball. People that don't watch basketball watch that basketball coverage. That's alone S tier. I mean, if you can do that one show that they have with the with Chuck and with Shaq and all those guys, that's S tier. It's S tier. And I kind of just like the TNT layout. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they always have good layouts. When I watch the games on TNT, I don't know. Maybe just because when I first got into baseball, my team made the when my team made the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Rays, a lot of their games were on TNT, and it felt like maybe that just gives an extra aura to me, and that's a very personal thing, but it's a personal list, so they're at S tier. We didn't have Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report's interesting. I feel like some of their articles can be very surface level, to be honest, but I do like, how do you even call them? The animated sketches they put on YouTube, I think, are very fun. Really enjoy those. They have some good stuff on there. It's not something I tend to look at a ton, but when I come across some Bleacher Report stuff, I tend to enjoy it. So I'll give it a B here. Then we have The Athletic. The Athletic, which is a paid service. You have to pay $1 to get The Athletic, which, listen, I'm in favor of paying for journalism. I just am. I think it's a good thing. I think we should do it more often. I do have several, subscriptions to certain sites that are paid to read when it comes to journalism. The Athletic is one of them. I do have it, although I don't use it as often as I used to. There was a really good reporter for the Tampa Bay Lightning that has since left and gone to the Wild, and so I don't read them. It used to be just every morning basically I would look and see if there's an article, and if there was, read it while I'm still waking up. Don't really do that anymore. But I don't know. I like them. I just don't know if I love them. So another B tier one for me. We then have SB Nation, which is a very fascinating one to put here. SB Nation is a sports media company that, there's all those like minor things of like those little, I don't know, those like subsect blogging sites that are seemingly just, I don't know, it's like basically a content farm, right? They just pump out a ton of content. And those I just feel like I'm not a huge fan of and don't necessarily like. I love the SB Nation YouTube stuff. Everything they do on YouTube, I think is great. I mean, they have obviously the John Boys, or is it Bois? I still don't know how to say his name. But his stuff is obviously incredible, and they have a lot of really good stuff on that. So I don't know if I can put it in S tier due to the entire company, but I'm gonna put them in A tier. I really like a lot of what they do. YouTube. So this might be confusing. You might be saying, wait a second, YouTube is not a sports media company. I know, but I wanted to just talk about just the people that are like me, just people who have YouTube channels. To be clear, I am not counting companies that put their stuff on YouTube. Pretty much all of these companies put stuff on YouTube to some degree. That doesn't matter. That's not what I'm including. I'm saying individuals who either their job is to make YouTube videos or the job isn't to make YouTube videos, but they just do it on the side. And for that, listen, I could say, hey, it's what I do, so it's S tier. I'm not necessarily going to just do that, though. Because, again, I'm taking myself out of the equation because obviously I can't evaluate my own self as well as you would be able to. But I think there's a lot of really good stuff with YouTube. I think that the fact that you get all different kinds of people is really exciting. I do think that can sometimes be a negative as well. You get people saying things that just like aren't true on YouTube. It's something that, for me personally, it was a learning curve I had of having to kind of learn how to be a journalist on the fly, right? And learn how to, hey, listen, you read something on Reddit, that doesn't make it true. You have to fact check it, things like that. So misinformation does happen a good chunk on YouTube. And I think that sometimes you do get some watered down content due to the just nature of, if you are on YouTube, you have to constantly be pumping out content. So because of that, I think it drops it a little bit. I'm still going A tier, though. I think there's a lot of great stuff on here. ESPN. Yeah, again, so some stuff frustrates me. I hate ESPN's hockey coverage. Maybe hockey's just a hard sport to cover. I don't know. I feel like some other, or TNT's done a pretty good job, I think. I think that, Barstool Sports has done a pretty good job, in my opinion. Some people disagree with that, but I don't have an issue with them. ESPN doesn't do a great job there. I don't think they do a great job covering any sport. Here's what I hate about ESPN's sports coverage before I get into even the media stuff. I absolutely hate how it feels like I'll be watching a game. There's a classic example that sticks out in my mind of there was one specific game where a player had just gotten convicted of, or he gotten cut because he was accused of domestic violence. So they wanted to do a segment talking about that, which is fine, but they did a segment in the middle of the game, which again is fine, but then there was an important interception that happened in the middle of the game, and we're having to listen to Jason Witten talk about how you shouldn't hit a woman, which I'm just like, okay, if you want to do a PSA, if you want to do something, this isn't helping. This is just to make yourself look good, and you're completely ruining the coverage of the game. It doesn't feel like it was just a weird situation, and that's kind of how they do a lot of stuff, which is they talk about storylines, they try to turn it into their own shows when they're covering a game, which I just can't stand. If you wanted to do a PSA, do it during the commercial breaks or come back early from a commercial break and do it. If you want to run your shows after and before. During the game you should be able to at least cover the game, and I don't think that they did a great job. They did a great job of doing that. I don't watch their shows. I don't hate people who do. Again, similar to Fox Sports, it's supposed to scratch a specific itch. I think it does a decent job at that. They did add Pat McAfee, who I would watch him on occasion, so maybe that's a win for them. But I'm just not a huge ESPN guy. You know what? I'm going to put it in D tier. Let's just do that. I gave a scathing review. It's going in D tier. Sorry, people who like ESPN. It's just not my thing. Next up is Barstool Sports, who, again, them kind of like a couple of these other companies, definitely do make a lot of YouTube content as well, but they're their own company, so that's why they're on the list. And Barstool Sports is probably the most controversial figure in the media space. Definitely, there's a lot of people who really love them, a lot of people who really hate them. For me, I feel like, listen, do I get annoyed by certain things that I hear come out of Dave Portnoy's mouth? Sure. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's about the company as a whole. I'm also entertained by some of the stuff Dave Portnoy says as well. I think they have some really good podcasts. The Spitting Chicklets podcast is fantastic. The Part of My Take podcast is fantastic. And it's kind of a meme that you see like on Reddit. People will always say like, oh, F Barstool, but except for these 3 podcasts that I listen to, because like everyone does kind of have a podcast or two that they like from Barstool Sports, it seems. So that's kind of how I am as well. I did not watch a ton of their content, but I do, I listen to those couple of podcasts, which I think are very good. And again, they scratch a very specific itch. And if this is your kind of thing, you're going to really like them. And they do some other fun stuff as well. I have watched, they've done some like reality TV stuff, which if you know me, I love reality TV. They've done some fun stuff there. They've had some interesting content in general. So I am going to put them in S tier. You know what? I think that they're one of the better sports media companies out there. Again, solely for entertainment. They're not getting you any smarter. But you know what? They do what they do incredibly well, in my opinion. CBS is the last one, which, I don't know, kind of just feels like your dad's sports media company, right? It kind of just feels like even like their pregame stuff for Sunday football is kind of just like, okay, it's fine. It's not the one I typically tune in to. Again, typically I'm Sunday mornings are one of the few times that I actually get a break during the regular season, so I'm not trying to watch more football then. But when I am excited about football, which still does happen, despite the fact that it's my career, something like CBS is just not the one I typically tune into. It doesn't feel like I get a ton of great insight there, and there's not a lot of great content there in general. So they're fine. I can't put them in D tier because they're inoffensive. It's kind of bland for me. That's just how I view it. But again, I don't watch enough of it for me to fully bash it. If you like it, okay, I probably just haven't seen what you like about it. I probably haven't seen those segments. I probably haven't seen that show. So don't take it personal. Don't take any of this stuff personal, because again, it's just my opinion on these things, and relatively even. And I even considered putting CBS in D. That would have made it 2 in each category. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And again, this is just my opinion and how I view this stuff. You're more than welcome to disagree. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.